countries, because in foreign countries already AI has been used, and there are these robo judges also used in certain countries. So can you tell us how it works and anything that you want to say?
Sure, thank you, Shilpa. So, we know that lawyers have been using certain AI tools globally for contract management, compliance, for research. Even where there are juries, jury specialists are using AI tools to determine whether the person is going to lean which way. With the advent of development of artificial intelligence tools, now even judiciaries are using AI tools. For instance, in the United States of America, AI tools are used in predictive analytics in the criminal justice system, which is being criticized severely because of the bias in the data which is available, thereby the machine learning system itself gets flawed, and the outcome of this AI ruling is ultimately, flawed. So certain individuals from marginalized groups are therefore wrongly categorized as high-risk individuals, leading to harsher punishments and even pre-trial release being denied to them. In Canada and Brazil, it's used for prediction of case outcomes, which assists the judges in decision making and making recommendations for future rulings. Singapore in 2020 has launched Court SA, which helps in transcribing the court hearings in real-time basis. So as he suggested that it's easier for us to get the order. Australia has been using it for analyzing evidence, which becomes helpful and reduces time. UK, Germany and Japan have online chatbots to resolve small claim disputes. However, still there are certain issues, but it has reduced the load of judiciary to a greater extent. Colombia and Argentina have been using AI tools to determine which cases are important. This helps them in prioritizing case listing and hearing, which I think is very imperative for India also to do so, given we have so many pending cases. China uses facial recognition and voice recognition technology to identify the defendant as well as the witnesses. Now, there are a lot of issues, especially related to bias, which is gender bias and ethnic bias. Also, the facial recognition technology has identified people of color as offenders and thereby leading to wrongful arrest and convictions. Due to lack of transparency and accountability, there have been several issues in the deployment of AI tools. Most interestingly, how we were saying that judges cannot be replaced. Netherlands was actually planning to have something called digital punishment officers. So this would be an AI tool which would issue you a digital ticket for minor criminal offences, and the penalty would either be fine or community service. So now the proponents of DPO are saying that this would reduce the workload of human law officers who can then actually concentrate on solving serious and heinous crimes. But there is a lot of criticism involved in this because a DPO may not understand the individual circumstances of the offender. For instance, something like jaywalking or littering would still be considered as an offense, and there would be a punishment awarded. So there is a punishment given in this regard. This makes the entire system overly punitive. Also, the lack of human oversight in this would again, some important information would be overlooked. So there is a lot of criticism against using AI tools as decision-making authorities. So UNESCO has taken all of this into consideration and has acknowledged that since AI is being used in the judicial system, there has been a growth in gender bias and ethnic bias. There have been threats to privacy and dignity of humans, thereby violating their fundamental human rights. Further, there is a great threat of mass surveillance. So, in November 2021, UNESCO, at its general conference, where 193 member states were present, it adopted a recommendation on ethical use of artificial intelligence. At the same time, it said that every country would have to come up with its own laws, but UNESCO would help the countries in implementing these laws. And it was also asked these countries to submit periodic reports on the progress and the process of implementation. Now, in order to tackle the gender bias issue, UNESCO has launched a collaborative platform along with governments and companies, which is called Women for Ethical AI, to ensure that women are equally represented in the development as well as deployment of AI, which ensures that the data is not biased. Similarly, it realized that a lot of unreliable AI tools are being used, and the judges who are using these tools are not aware of the issues involved in it. So, in March 2022, UNESCO launched a massive open online course called Artificial Intelligence and the Rule of AI to bridge the gap between the lacunae in the technology and how its output is going to be there. Despite all of this, if you realize, people like Elon Musk, Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, and several other, more than 1,000 AI and technology leaders and researchers have come together and have written an open letter asking for a moratorium of at least 6 months on the development of AI, so that, because we are really not sure of the risks which are associated with the technology. And if we don't know how to combat these risks, AI is going to be a cakewalk. So, Sam Altman has been on a global tour encouraging governments to come up with something which would ensure responsible AI and ethical AI. He visited India last Thursday. I would like to point out one of the interesting quotes from his speeches. When he was in Abu Dhabi, he pointed out that after World War II, when the entire world realized the dangers of nuclear technology, everybody came together to ensure that there are guardrails put around it, so that we can live in a safe world, and that is how the UN watchdog IEA was formed. He's saying that this is one of those times when the world should actually come together and understand how AI can be used, so that we can reap the benefits of this technology as at the same time mitigate the risks associated with it. Thank you.
Nice. Julie,